Hey, is this me? I can't tell.
Big wieners. Woo! That's it. That's all this video is here for.
Done. Review done.
Battlecross, rise to power, comes after pursuit of honor and war of will.
Yeah.
They like to sound epic with their titles. Yeah, it's their third album, and it's on Metal Blade Records. And it's new, and it's exciting, and it's Battlecross.
It's cool.
What'd you think?
I really like this album. I've always ever since you turned me on to Battlecross right before Mayhem Fest. I guess it was 2013.
Turn you on?
He turned me on. I've loved this band because they're like the best of everything in a lot of ways. You want a band, and this album is an exact testament to this. You know, you want a band that you want thrash, give you thrash. You want fucking melody with like cool harmonies and shit. It's there. You want to get groovy and just bob your head along to the music, and you want to just jump around like an idiot. That's on this album, and that's and like I said, that's what this band does, and it's really cool. One thing that I think definitely stands out is like the song, and I mean this band in general, the songwriting. It's awesome on this album. I love the songwriting. Like, a lot of bands you can say that, we just got done doing Disturbed. All their songs sound the same. Well, I mean, that's not really the case with these guys. All their songs are like different, and they pull on a bunch of different things. Like the one thing, there's a middle section riff to the song, which one was it? Bound by Fear. Like the middle section riff is like weird, but at the same time like heavy. I'm like, yeah, and I was digging it. And then again, their choruses are awesome. I mean, the chorus to "Not Your Slave" is really cool. I like the chorus to "Scars." It gets fucking groovy shit in that, and also the song "Despised," and "Spoiled" are other songs that I really, really like from this album. I mean, if you like War of Will, this is like that, and then some. It's just like it's not nothing terribly new, but it's a nice extension of what they were doing on that album. The song "Absence" is a really cool song. It's just chaotic and all over the place. And lead singer Kyle Gunther. He I love his vocals. I remember we did like top vocalists a while back, and I had him on there. I just love the way they mixed. He has the vocals mixed, and how he has his high screams and his low screams at the same time. And I've always loved his low screams. His low screams sound awesome. But I love how they're mixed on the album, and then how again they take full advantage of his range in both of those, and it's really cool. I was gonna say solos in this album fucking rip. A lot of them are cool. Like the solo and the harmony in "Not Your Slave" and there was another one. Take a quick look so I see if I remember. I think it was "Despised." Yeah, "Despised" was the other song that I thought had a pretty nifty solo. And again, this is just a very well put together album. I personally put a lot of stock in how an album feels, more so than like the technical aspects of it. This album just feels good. It just feels good. Like, I just get happy. Like, kind of like the last album that had this happen to was with Lamb of God, and I got happy listening to this album. I get happy listening to this album. This album just brings me joy, puts a smile on my face. Like, just listening to like a lot of it. Yeah. Good album. Great job.
I agree. This album's kind of like jerking off. Just feels good.
And you
Has
just
no
like
purpose,
it.
but it feels good.
And you just like it, and you just fucking do it. Just because you like it. Yeah. Keith revealing He jerks off a lot.
Did I?
I don't know. Anyways, this album is solid, and I think this is probably Battlecross's best album that they've put out. And I say that I feel that it's only incrementally better. Because, you know, Pursuit of Honor is really good, and War of Will is really good, and then I'd put this album slightly above it. Because Battlecross, they didn't really evolve on this album. They just do what they do. And they know who they are, they know what they want to do, and it's here. And it's probably the best execution of that they've had, and just putting it all together. I just think this is probably the best one. I absolutely adore the song Not Your Slave. And that's the first song they put out, but that fucking chorus, dude, it's bouncy, you just bob your head to it, and it's like, it's great. And I love it. And then the middle riff is just epic, and it's like, fuck, this is sick. I also love the song Spoiled, when Spoiled kind of goes back to some inspirations of like some 80s speed metal here, man. I love that riff to Spoiled. It is so good, and I love that everything about that song. Another song that really stood out to me was Shackles towards the end. That's a very good fucking song, and there's a couple moments on here of like calmness, of acoustic guitar that's cool, and you know, I like those moments because you're like, I can breathe. And then it's just like fucking punch you in the ass again. Kyle Gunther is a fantastic vocalist, and he's very unique in his sound and unique in everything that he fucking does. And I think this is probably his best performance. It's not mind-blowing what he does on this album because you've heard it all before. It's just better. And it just sounds better, and it feels better, and I just feel his lyrics and his lyrical patterns are just fucking fantastic in every single song on here. I feel every song stood out to me immediately on this album. It's like, that was a good song, that's a good song, that's a good one, and it's like, fuck, this album's awesome. Whereas their past two albums took me a couple listens to where I could go, that one's that one, that one's that one. But this one just stood out immediately, and there's some really just solid riffage. This is just a riff fest from start to finish, and it's almost too many riffs. It's too much riffs. You should simplify it sometimes, man. It's like, I'm just overwhelmed by the riffs, and it's awesome, but sometimes it's like, fuck, do you need to, like, 7 riffs in one song? But it's cool. I mean, it's nothing to take a big dump on over.
Yeah, they're definitely one of those bands that, like, nobody writes riffs like they do.
Yeah.
Their riffs are cool, and they're different, and they're slightly weird, but they're awesome because of it.
Yeah. And it's like, this band's, like he said, they're thrashy, they're groovy, they're everything. They're melodic. And even when they are really thrashy, I don't feel the outright fucking thrash like I do in, like, Exodus or Creator. It just feels different, and it feels Battlecross. And that's cool. They have their own way about them, and this album just further executes on their fucking path and what they do. And that's cool. It's not a whole lot else to say. I mean, this album, you put it on and that's done. It's a very quick album. Very to the point.
Not a bad thing.
And it just takes no bullshit. It's not a democracy anymore. You're fucking listening to this shit.
This isn't a democracy anymore. Wow.
What'd you give this album?
I would give this album a solid 8.5 out of 10. This album's very good. I can just about guarantee it'll be on my top 10 for the end of the year. So
8.5 to me as well. See you guys around.